from the garden. The cicada garden. Square spiral cicada garden. There's a cicada up there right now. I've been working pretty hard this week. Mostly clearing the pathways. I love these little guys. They're just amazing. But yeah, the wild grape is doing really well, and I forget that the reason I allow wild grape to grow is so I can eat these. I have not been eating it. Other things have been eating my food. Yeah, I still haven't moved that. It's the Maximilian sunflower. I still haven't moved it. All right, mostly I've been working on the pathways this week, but I've also cut down a lot of the trees that were growing in various places. I've missed a few. Wow, my apple tree is just covered in cicadas. All right, so this is the Jonathan, or the Arkansas Black. There goes a bunch of cicadas. I scared them. Boo. Yarrow is doing really nicely. I have a friend who needs some yarrow for a project, but he's not sure if he needs the flowers or the leaves, and he won't need a bunch, which is too bad because I've got a bunch. So one of our joys this week has been the mulberries going to fruit. What I've been doing is laying a cloth down, not under this one because these guys are so much in the way, but I've been laying a cloth down underneath, and then you shake them and they just fall right out. All right, I'm gonna go this way. I'm wearing shoes. This feels really strange. Look at these guys. Look at these cicadas. Little bug. Okay, yeah, this is the part of the garden I have not. Oh, these are the guys we don't like. They do a lot of harm. I'm gonna squish them. Those are babies. All right, so this is something I have to work on next. I meant to show you other things, but the elderberries have been sprouting all over this area. I don't know if they're coming up from roots or from seeds. I have to move them. So I'm putting this in my video to remind me. I have to do this, or else I'm gonna have nothing but elderberry. I just need the one elderberry, and it's gorgeous. Look at him. He's just covered in flowers. All right, I'm coming back this way. This is the area I've been working on. So I've been clearing the pathways. Yeah, that's a pathway. Because otherwise it just gets crazy. Okay, you know why, you understand. I'm sure you understand why pathways have to be cleared. So things are still eating my, drew some artichokes. I don't know what, but I'm not terribly worried. If it's not the deer, it's not the deer. I mean, that's obviously caterpillar damage. It's interesting, they're not getting these guys, but they are getting these. I guess those guys are doomed next. Anyway. So these are starting to dry. The mustard greens, they're starting to lose their leaves and dry. So what I'll need to do is cut them and hang them upside down. And then I'll finally be able to get those tomato cages out of here. That's the tomato cages I used to make a little tiny greenhouse. I covered this with tarp when there was a really bad snow and ice storm, and it was a polar vortex where the temperature dropped down to about the single digits. I think we got down to 1 or -1. Here's my pokeweed. I could probably get another meal out of this, but it's behind most of the other pokeweed around here right now. That there's pokeweed out in the wild that are already as tall as me or taller, and I'm 5.5 feet. I'm 5'5". So they've been behind. It's behind this year because of the fantastic gigantic, multitudinous, fertile mustard greens. Weed bucket. You can't even tell it's a bucket anymore. All right, so this is some of the work I did this week. Believe it or not, there are rows here, and I planted golden beets along here. I covered this area. I covered with leaves back in the autumn, so you can sort of see, like right here is a row, but then I sort of pushed a little bit back over, and here's another row, and I sort of pushed it back together. I am finding that there's tunnels underneath the leaves. So I suspect that mice are living in my garden, and it's like, hello kitten, what is your job? What is your job? This is where I planted carrots because that's south. So this is on the north side of the grapevine. Oh, speaking of grapevines, Baba grapes. Baba grapes. Maybe I'll actually get to eat some grapes this year, I hope. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I planted carrots here. They'll get more shade. I think they like cooler weather. All right, now here's the blueberry row. We have blueberries, a few. Last year we lost all of them to birds. I keep meaning to get out here with some screen cloth. Cicadas everywhere. Before they turn ripe, I've got to do that. Middle of the day, so the flea bane is like, I'm tired. This is where I planted watermelon. So the watermelon should theoretically be able to grow down that row. Good plan, yeah? Good plan. I also put some compost in the ground this morning right here. This is the end of what used to be a strawberry row and has now been taken over by mint. And you know what? My last video, I talked about the clematis, which is still blooming. And I was like, oh, I'm going to plant it over by the thingamajig. And then it occurred to me, wait a minute. That trellis isn't doing anything. Maybe I could plant them right there. So, oh, a cicada just landed in my hair. All right, so watermelon hopefully will grow along here. And since there's a water pipe coming down off the side of the house that goes through here, the first couple of years that I put it in the ground, water would just pour out here. And I think that plant roots must have been growing into the pipe. So it doesn't just blow up with water anymore. I think it's getting more controlled. But hopefully it will still water this really well, because the watermelon that I've planted in the past, I've put out in the drier part of the garden, and it's called watermelon because it really likes water. Okay, another bug has landed in my hair, and I don't know what kind of bug it is. I put beans in the ground, vining beans that hopefully will take over this old greenhouse frame. I've done this, 4 years in a row now, and it's not worked yet. I just try a different kind of bean every time. I tried like the scarlet runner bean. I tried a red runner bean, and this is a black runner bean. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes they'll grow a few inches and then die, and sometimes they just don't ever come up. Maybe they're getting eaten by mean people. All right, and then over here, this is the flowery part of the garden. Yes, mint flowers, whatever. So I put sunflowers in here and calendula in here. This is the center of the garden. Here's a native cinquefoil. It's called cinquefoil even though it has, I think, 7 leaves. But it's native, and it grows pretty little yellow flowers. Well, I wonder if the mint is just getting in its way. There, give it some more sunlight. So I literally pulled that up out of the ground by the side of the road. So here's the gladioli. Garlic going to seed. Mustard going to seed. Here's the daylilies. I'm hoping to get to see them bloom this year. I think they're probably just the regular tiger lilies. We'll see. Center of the garden with our little sun plaque. But yeah, hopefully we'll get sunflowers here growing really tall. Calendula over here. Watermelon. Carrots. Beets. Drew some artichokes. The strawberries are pretty much done. And, well, except for the wild strawberries. And I just realized there's an avocado tree growing out of the compost in the strawberry patch. The strawberry patch is less and less strawberry every year. I really need to clean that out, but anyway, the last time we were out here, there were a lot of these guys. This is either aster or it's solidago goldenrod. So it had taken it had grown out of the bed over there and just kept coming north this way. And it's like, are you really supposed to be growing north? I thought everybody was supposed to move towards the sun. So I had to pull those all out. I do love goldenrod. I love that it's butterfly food. I love that it's beautiful. But I only want it to be growing along that edge, along with all the rest of the crazy wild stuff. So I've been cutting out trees. There was a big tree right there that topped out of the vines. There was a bunch of them along there. There was a few in here. I realize now that there's a little oak coming up here, and I'm sorry, little oak tree. This is not your place. And of course the wild strawberries, as always. So yeah, always weeding. Yeah, the crossvine growing up the house. That's that one doesn't flower. That's the Virginia creeper, but the crossvine. A few years ago, when this garden was newer, see, that's some of the goldenrod over there. When this garden was newer, we had maypops, passion flower, all throughout here. This guy got completely covered in maypops. And then they're just gone. I don't know if I guess they're just biennial. So anyway. Yeah. Still haven't cut down the dead crepe myrtle. Nope, I still haven't done that. And I realize now that this is the wild grapevine has come back here. So you'll see some of it is dying. I cut one of them, and clearly I need to cut another one. I don't want the wild grape to compete with the cultivar, the Niagara cultivar. The wild grape does not produce edible grapes. They do produce little tiny thin grapes. funny bugs. But they're not very tasty. There was a wild grapevine here that I did cut. So that was something. Oh yeah, the other pokeweed. That's Inky Jr. So yeah, I've been clearing out a little bit over here. I do like to chop and drop sometimes. That helps keep things from growing quite so tall. But I also wanted to show you another success of mine. I've got this wild, plant. It's one of the plants that monarchs like. Milkweed. So growing by the side of the road, kept getting mown down. I moved it here, only part of it, because I didn't want to try to take all the root and then have it die on me. I moved it here, it grew, then it died, and then it grew back. That makes me happy. All right, so Crazy Wild Garden. This is the Canna Banana corner. Dagnabbit, there's one of those. We used to have a Chinese princess tree over here, a giant one, and we have to keep cutting down the babies because they just keep growing back, and including in the Canna Banana. That's one of the bananas. Hopefully one of the cannas is around here. Here's my other service berry. I did clear around him some. I need to clear around him some more. Well, oh, there's the canna. So canna, banana. This is the southern corner of the garden. My other service berry is up near the dead crepe myrtle. The crepe myrtle is coming back from the ground, so it's not really actually dead. Yeah, this is the asparagus row. Haha, yeah, you can't really see the asparagus. Here's one. Well, yeah, see, I didn't get all of the trees. Can you go butterfly? Oh yeah, one last update. I'm still feeding coffee to the raspberry. So we might actually get this guy to finally start to thrive. It's just crazy. From what I understand, raspberries are like so persistent, and obviously this guy is, because he's come back like 4 years in a row, and he's finally starting. I think this is going to be the year when we see him really grow. I mean, he's not even a foot tall. Okay. Asparagus. This is the awning of the cage of asparagus. Yeah, I probably shouldn't let the crossvine grow into the roof. Oh well. Alright. Gorgeous day in the garden. Look at the elderberry. Woo! Alright, be well, y'all. Gonna get a close up on a grape.